It was a Friday night, the kind where work exhaustion drives you to seek out a bit of quiet, maybe a drink or two before heading home. I had just wrapped up a long week at the firm, and all I could think about was how much I missed Lena, my wife of 6 years. We'd been distant lately, her late nights at work, her phone always face down, her smile that seemed to fade a little more each day. Still, I believed it was just stress, that things would settle once she finished her latest project. That night, I decided to surprise her. She'd told me she was having dinner with her friend Chloe, so I figured I'd stop by the restaurant near her office, the same one she mentioned countless times. I even brought flowers, a small gesture to remind her that I still cared, that I was trying. When I walked into the bar attached to the restaurant, I wasn't expecting anything more than a quick hello and maybe a smile that would make my long week worth it. But what I saw stopped me cold. There she was, sitting at a corner table, laughing, really laughing, in a way I hadn't seen in months. And across from her sat a man I'd never met. He wasn't just a coworker. I could tell by the way she leaned toward him, by the way her hand rested just inches from his. Their connection was too easy, too intimate. For a moment, I just stood there, frozen, the flowers trembling slightly in my grip. My first instinct was denial. Maybe it wasn't what it looked like. Maybe I was overreacting. But then she reached out, brushing his arm while smiling in that familiar warm way, the smile that used to be mine. Something inside me broke. Quietly, I walked to their table. She didn't notice me until I was standing right beside her. When she looked up, her face drained of color. "Nathan," she whispered, eyes wide. The man beside her straightened, clearly uncomfortable. I should." But I cut him off with a calm wave of my hand. "No need. Say, I'm the husband." Lena's mouth opened, but no words came out. I looked at her, really looked at her, and in that moment, I saw everything. Guilt, fear, and something else, regret. But it was too late. Without saying a word, I placed the flowers on the table between them. Then I took off my wedding ring, the one I'd worn every day for 6 years, and set it gently beside her wine glass. The small metallic sound of it hitting the table was louder than anything I could have said. The man looked away, uncomfortable. Lena reached out, her hand trembling. "Nathan, please, I can explain." I shook my head slowly. "No," I said softly, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "You already did." She tried to stand, but I took a step back. "Don't," I said quietly. "If you stand, I might start believing you again." For a few seconds, the room felt completely still. I looked at her one last time, memorizing her face, the woman who had once been my entire world, and then I turned and walked out. Outside, the cold air hit me like a wave, but it felt cleaner than anything I'd breathed in months. I got into my car, hands gripping the steering wheel, heart pounding. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, listening to the silence that followed me home. That night, I packed a small bag, left my keys on the counter, and drove to my brother's place. He didn't ask questions, just opened the door, saw my face, and nodded. "You can stay as long as you need," he said quietly. In the weeks that followed, Lena called. She texted. She showed up at my office once, begging me to talk. I never yelled at her, never said a cruel word. I just told her, "You made a choice. Now I'm making mine." The divorce was finalized 6 months later. She cried through the hearing, I didn't. Something in me had already gone quiet long before the paperwork was signed. It's been 2 years since that night. I still remember the sound of the ring on that table. Soft, final, almost peaceful. Sometimes people think heartbreak is loud, full of shouting and slammed doors. But the truth is, it's often quiet, the kind of quiet that comes when you finally stop fighting for someone who stopped fighting for you. I never got the ring back, and I don't want it. It belongs to a different life, one that ended the moment I saw her smile at another man. Now, when I walk past that same bar on my way home, I don't feel anger anymore. Just clarity. Because that night wasn't the end of my story, it was the beginning of finally remembering my worth.